this car is from the birth of custom cars. You know, it's within the first 10, 15 years of when custom cars really started to happen. And this is what influenced my father, which is what influenced me to do what I do today. This is the heart of what we do in the hot rodding and custom car world. And it's so cool that this car has not been manipulated or changed or restored. You know, a lot of times there's a lot of old custom cars that they were customized, and then as they became an old custom car, somebody would alter it, they would change it, they were trying to update it. This has never been updated. This is the real deal. It is exactly the way it was built when it was originally finished by George Barris and Dean Jeffries. That's the beauty of this car. Now, neither one of you have ever been in it?
Never sat in it.
You never even crawled through the window?
Nope.
It was off limits when we were growing up.
Really?
Meaning, my dad had every intention of us, restoring it someday, but
Right.
until it was to that point, it was we knew it was a no-go zone.
Yeah, see, I would never restore this because that is actually their work. Their hands created it. George
Yeah.
Barris and Dean Jeffries, and I wouldn't want to destroy that, the value of their work. If you wanted something that was perfectly pristine, build another one that's a copy of it.
Right.
But this is the actual car, so that's why I would leave it like this. It was only this way once.
Yep. It's just amazing to see
It in the natural light.
So it looks like the supercharger is disconnected.
Yeah, it's
is it?
disconnected. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never had a belt on it.
So they painted the inside of the engine compartment too?
Yeah, you'd see pictures of all this, but you didn't know how well they prepped things for paint. But yeah, they didn't take any of the wrinkles out. They just painted it gold. It was just taped off and painted. It wasn't
Tape and paint?
It wasn't surfaced and cleaned up the way you think of these old show cars.
Right.
It was just, wow, you open the hood and it's gold.
Well, I'm sure, my dad and uncle were probably on a tight budget back then, so they were just, college students trying to,
That's awesome.
live their dream and making a hot rod, and so this is what they got.
In one of the magazine articles, it says it was originally painted yellow,
Yeah,
and they didn't strip it. They just painted over that.
right over it. And then it
So-
wrinkled. That's why they put the
Yeah.
graphics on it.
Yeah, and we
I
actually
read
have
that.
photos of it when it was yellow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, I was flipping through Hemmings Motor News, and I saw this ad for Old Barris Custom. I thought, this can't be, because it's one thing to find an old car. It's another thing to find an old car with history. And I thought, okay, well, maybe it's parts of one, but I made the phone call. They sent me some pictures, and what I was looking at was, this is exactly what the car was. Put away in this garage 50 years ago. It has never been touched. It's one thing to restore an old car. You don't restore this. This, you just give it some tender loving care and bring back what it really is. Because this car was created by the hands of George Barris, by the hands of Dean Jeffries. To restore it, you're just doing an interpretation of what they did. This is the real deal. I'm just excited to get my hands on it and get it cleaned up. Thank you.
When your body says goodbye, don't you worry, 'cause your spirit will never die. All the tears that we cry, will tomorrow, when the sun becomes dry, we will feel your presence in the sky, from the light that shines from up high.
I see right now in the engine bay is a whole lot of work ahead of me. Right now I'm just trying to get the air cleaner back in position. Nothing has me panicked on this. Everything looks like what I expected it to be. But the fact that it is all original, it hasn't been messed with. Nobody's tried to restore it. Nobody has destroyed the value of what it is. That's what's exciting to me. So now it's all about just getting it cleaned up. And what I want to do right now is I just want to give it a little bath and kind of clean up some of the dirt and the dust that's on it before we take it back to the shop. But this is exciting. You notice the chrome tape here. This totally takes me back to when I was a kid, because my dad always said the difference between an amateur and a professional, the professional knows how to fix his mistakes. Obviously the hood was down when this was painted. They didn't get a lot of nice paint on that edge. It may have been real light. The fast way to fix that is put that chrome tape on there and you were done with it. It's really cool because it's honest.
So the story of this car is it was my dad's passion. You know, he and his brother created this when they were in college, and they bought the car together. Then they took it down to George Barris, had him do the work, brought it back. You can even see the sticker on the windshield steer where he had it and drove it in college. And so it's what's important is just that there's a future to it. It's not just gonna sit in the garage any longer. There's someone who truly appreciates, you know, the car of this character and nature, and it's honoring my dad as far as doing something other than let it sit in the garage any longer, and he'd be super excited to see it.
The reason I want to wash it, I just want to clean it up because the car deserves it. We're gonna do a real nice job of, you know, trying to bring this paint back once I get it back to the shop. But before I can do anything to it, I need to just wash it and get it clean. And I'd love to do it here so you guys can see it as well.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. As soon as I put this water on, we're gonna see this beautiful candy red. That this is what started the whole desire to paint cars candy red. This is probably one of the first cars that were ever painted in a candy red color. And what candy red is this gold color. It was painted on the entire car before a transparent red was put over it. And that's what you're seeing here. I wish the sun was, you know, it's behind the clouds right now, but when the sun comes out, this red is just gonna pop. And you can see what this looked like when it was first finished and polished. It would have been this glossy and shiny. We have to get it wet to see it, but I'm hoping that when I'm done with it, it will be glossy and look beautiful.